City Pigeons Podcast, episode 20. Welcome in, everybody. Thanks for joining us. We're back here in Manioc again, 2 weeks in a row, holding it down. And Meech, I just want to know, are you ready to issue your formal apology yet, based on what has transpired?
Who am I apologizing to?
Maybe Aaron Nola.
Absolutely not.
What's he apologizing for?
He had one good start. Look, if you look back at that, if you look back at his stats for the season, it's pretty impressive. But I'm still not sold on Aaron Nola. He's got to prove it to me, man.
Yeah, me too.
My favorite.
He's got to prove it to me and Rock.
My favorite part is how Rock has already completely. I don't even think that registered with him that you said what you said last week. That's gone. If you
I remember
remembered
exactly
it.
what he was talking about last week.
Yeah.
Aaron Nola has to prove himself.
Right. He wants them to make the playoffs solely so he can see if Aaron Nola can prove himself.
And it's shaping up exactly the way it should. He's going to pitch game 2. It's up to the Padres now, but it's most likely going to be St. Louis. They could still win and overtake the Mets, I guess.
So last night did nothing to change this narrative of him coming up small in big moments for you?
No.
Wow.
No,
He went what, 6.5 innings?
Yeah,
and he had 2 guys on base when he left the game. He must blow it after that.
Very impressive stuff, okay?
Listen, I'm not here to shit on Aaron Nola. It's just they're going into the playoffs. I'm confident. I'm fully believing that he's going to pitch a good game in game 2, and they're going to win that series in St. Louis.
Wow, I like it. Positive energy. So big moment last night. I'm sure everybody's aware. Phils get into the playoffs for the first time in 11 years. Can you explain this to me? Because I see you online talking about this said thing, and a lot of times I'll see stuff, but then I won't really look into it. I was like, oh, that's something, but I don't really know what he's talking about. So can you talk to us about this?
Well, when I was blogging for the Phillies back in the heyday in 2007 to 2011, there was I used to watch all the shows and tape the stuff just to hopefully get a entertaining clip to put out there on my stupid blog. And one morning I was watching Fox 29, and this guy was on. And it was from the night before, I guess they clinched the playoffs, and he's still up 7 a.m. the next morning. And Steve Keeley was on the outside of the Citizens Bank Park looking for crazy people to interview, and he found the craziest.
Should have interviewed himself.
Steve Keeley's my boy. Don't mess with Steve Keeley. But then this said guy comes on, and it was the greatest interview. Fink, you pulling it up now?
Yeah, I'm trying to get to it. You had a lot of good Philly content last night.
Yeah,
and I clipped it.
Just looking through this.
He's just been on fire.
Is that AI?
Didn't you post the video from last night, Meech?
I may have retweeted it. I don't know. It
Anyway.
should be up there.
Anyway.
We'll find this precious content.
So there was a guy, and he just went on this classic rant, and it's stuck with the Phillies. So every time the Phillies do something good, it's said, Steve, said. And
You were the proprietor of that.
yeah, I was the one who
Clipped it
and put it out there into the and it's
Yeah,
here it
we've
is.
seen this
We
guy.
have it.
Here it is,
He's
13
stoked,
years
right?
later.
This is
Stoke Steve.
Stoke Steve. Right. Yeah. All right.
And here it is all these years later, and it's still getting major play. And the Philadelphia Phillies tweeted out a screenshot of him last night.
Mike, he suggested you do the whole show like that.
Started from the beginning, my bad.
Said.
There we go.
Like, this is the energy you need.
You're screaming like it's still a game going on. We're talking about the Fightins here. The Fightins.
Said.
Mike, he suggested you do the whole show
Love
like
it.
that.
And Meech, you're ahead of your time clipping this stuff and putting it out there. You know what I mean? You were really breaking boundaries.
Yeah, I got to give credit. I pretty much just copied off D-Mac, Daniel McQuaid. He was doing that, and I was like, yo, dude, how the fuck you do that shit? But I would watch the stuff and find the interesting things that are going on in the broadcast that weren't necessarily part of the game, and then that became a very popular. Like you watch Twitter now, and if anything happens during the game, everybody's looking for it and catches it and puts it right up. That's the beauty of Twitter. So,
Well,
but thank you. I was ahead of my time.
yeah, you were ahead of your time. There's no doubt. It's actually great now because last night, seeing the celebration it struck me in a couple ways. One of which was now, because of the way people do exactly that, they capture the content. When you got a bunch of guys that are pouring champagne on themselves and basically letting their guard down a little, right? Like, you're going to get some good stuff.
It's always. I used to watch this is how sick I was. Like, NBC 10 would put on their website the raw feeds of the celebrations, and it would be like 2 hours of just no commentary, and I would watch the whole thing looking for, like, just someone to slip up and do something that I could
beautiful.
What's the best
make
thing?
fun of.
What's the best thing you ever found?
It's probably not even like appropriate to post nowadays, but there was a reporter for NBC 10. Her name was Jade McCarthy. I think she's in Boston now, and the Phillies won a series, and they just lit her up and like doused her in champagne. It was kind of hot. I mean, it was then. Now it was totally inappropriate.
I don't know how many times you watched that over.
And I would have called HR and complained if that
Watching the raw footage.
Kind of hot. Well, I got to tell you this. I saw a lot of really good clips last night of different Phillies players, holding beers or going on Instagram Live. Actually, I think it was Phillies Nation did a really clever thing where they went through tonight's lineup one by one, and they showed like the hangover lineup, and they showed clips of that person last night, So it's funny to see the way people are doing that. But it actually brought me back to 1993 because that was the first time for most of us that we ever saw them make the playoffs.
Right.
And I remember being at that game where they clinched, and I was with my parents, and we went over to like
singing "Whoop There It Is."
Whoop There It Is for sure. We went over to kind of some of where the executives were hanging out or whatever, and like everybody was just so happy about the fact that it had happened. And last night, it was just captivating, that same feeling.
It's great making the baseball playoffs. I mean, they added an extra spot just so they could get in, but they got in, and it's fun to watch. And they're not in a one-game playoff or something.
Right.
They're in an actual series, and they have Zach Wheeler and Nola going, and then Suarez. You can win 2 of those 3.
Yeah.
Right, Rock?
Exactly. Yep.
That's what he was saying.
So wait, they got rid of the one, like the play-in game, and they just added an extra squad to the playoffs?
They added an extra team, and then they made the first series 3-game series, best of 3 series.
But all away
All
for
away.
the lower-seeded team.
Oh, okay.
So
You're not traveling
Yeah,
back
I
and
got
forth.
you. I like that.
So it's like you got in, but you're at a pretty big disadvantage. But hey, let it fly, right?
I'm
Bryce said
clearly lost on all this.
it's okay. We're here to educate you. Well, it was interesting because I felt a little bit.
Not just me. There's some fans out there that are probably just as lost as I am.
Right.
on the
They're like, "What's
baseball
going
thing."
on?"
Yeah.
Yeah, but just like you, they're like, "Oh, I'm in. I'm
No,
down
I'm
for
definitely.
this."
As soon as that first playoff game comes, I'm
Red
Phillies,
October?
Yeah.
You
Philly
feeling the
hat
Red October?
on, jersey on? Hell yeah! I'll be out at the bars partying.
Let's go.
I'm
You
ready.
got any gear?
I got my 2008 World Series cap, and I think I might have my Don Brown jersey somewhere laying around.
That's good
That's
luck.
a nice
Don
item.
Brown All-Star.
That's a nice item. Well, I felt I was
Cliff Lee jerseys.
okay.
And stuff like
Pull
that
it all
laying
out.
around. Yeah.
So I was a little conflicted, or I am a little conflicted. Let me explain why. I felt kind of bad last night because last week I suggested that maybe we're making too big a deal of the fact that they could make the playoffs, right? Based on the fact that they had expanded the playoffs and they've been playing so poorly that they got to go play 3 games. Watching last night made me feel
You were just away from the playoffs for so long.
Yeah.
You kind of took for granted what
definitely.
it means.
And by the way, watching how much it meant to the players, and then seeing like Real Muto and Segura, these guys who had never made it, like happy for all those guys, and that was great. And I'm like super hyped up. But there's one thing, and I think this is I heard people talking about. There are some people out there who are saying, oh, it's an expanded playoff format, so whatever. And the only thing I'll say in defense of those people is that, what's stopping me from being like so hype about this is just the way that they played over the last couple weeks. You know what I mean? I can't just like compartmentalize that and be like, they're going to flick a switch.
Yeah,
You have
it doesn't
to.
matter anymore.
I know it doesn't matter.
It's you could start slumps into the playoffs. You could get hot in the it's over once the regular season's over. You can't think of it that way.
Now, I get what you're saying. If they had just like torn everybody up all the way down, to the end, I'd be super fired up. It's just holding me back a little. That
you feel like they're not going to do anything.
Well, they got
They
swept
made
by
it,
the
and
Cubs,
then,
and obviously then needed that messy.
I think
net.
deep down,
11
most
years is
people
a-
feel like they're not going to do anything. So, what were you saying?
I was gonna say 11 years is a long time. Like
Yeah.
we're in the playoffs, man. Like,
and
you're
remember,
there.
How you going to feel if they get swept?
Well, see, and that was kind of my point, right?
That's when you say, Nola, get lost. Get lost, buddy.
But I honestly, you remember last week I told you I saw the tweet where they had only made it, 14 times, 183 or whatever it is, and I was like, no, yeah, they need to make the playoffs. And seeing everybody so happy about it, made me feel like, yeah, they needed to make it. But if they go get their asses kicked, we'll have to see
Then
how
we burn it all down.
Did you notice Castellanos was barely even part of the celebration?
I did not. What's your take on that? He just hasn't loved it.
He's a little
Salty?
salty, that guy.
In what way? Just because he had a bad year?
I guess so.
I noticed it was weird. He wasn't with anybody. They didn't interview him after the game or
He
anything.
showed up in one person's Instagram reels. It was Bryson Scott, and he had the goggles on and a smile, but he was...
He may have that mentality that we haven't accomplished anything yet. He's ready for that championship.
Dude, celebrate with your teammates, man. Everybody's happy, and you see the one guy not celebrating. That brings down everybody.
Well, he's new here, right? So maybe he's just
And that's the other thing.
not
I
that cool
wasn't
with everybody yet.
I wasn't sure how the team would react. I didn't know. I guess I don't know why I would think they wouldn't celebrate it that way, but I wasn't prepared for it to be as big a deal as it was. So that was kind of cool to see it. Part of you feels like, all right, go.
I love. Did you notice New Era puts
The goggles.
puts
I
their
did notice.
stamp on the goggle? The teams used to have to bring goggles from home.
Yeah, they're
now
Oakleys.
New Era supplies and brands the goggles and leaves them in the
Are
clubhouse.
they New Era goggles or are
Yeah.
they Oakleys with a New Era stamp?
Probably that. But either way,
I liked when they used to have to bring them. Say you bring out
Yeah,
the
the
swim
swim
goggles and
goggles.
everything. They're
Yeah.
just in there spraying with the swim goggles.
And then
it's better.
I think Ortiz he might have been the first ones to bring out those big Oakley
Yeah.
ski goggles.
Rock and I have multiple pairs of those at home.
Yeah,
I was actually thinking we could go out.
yeah.
I didn't want to do it here because that would have been cool for Plant, but we could have sprayed each other just to see what it feels like,
Yeah, I think I know what it would feel like.
No. I mean in your eyes. You know what I mean? I want to feel it in my eyes.
Okay.
To know whether you need
Double pause.
whether you need the goggles or not. That's the way I was looking at
Lecco, cut this segment.
it. So there was a couple things last night though that struck me. The first was the mystique of the perfect game no-hitter thing. People get so triggered when somebody talks about it. And
Triggered. Shut up. I hate
it's
that
true.
word.
On the broadcast,
They put the.
Okay, so
because you look like you're looking at me when you're saying this triggered thing.
No. But let me explain this. Most people probably know, but if you don't know, the superstition is if somebody's got a no-hitter going that you don't talk about it, right? Perfect game.
Who
No,
doesn't talk about it?
anybody. You're not supposed to say
You
it to
never heard
anybody.
of this?
I heard this, but I'm like, who doesn't talk? Like the announcer?
Yeah,
like,
anybody.
you're
You're not-
hanging out.
you're not
with the
really
crew,
supposed
You're hanging
to-
out with the boys.
Like
you're like,
they
you
make
don't say
the
nothing.
pitcher sits by himself
Right.
in the dugout and
Nobody
everything.
talks
It's like a
about
big
it.
superstitious.
So, but
thing.
does that apply to the homies sitting at home watching the game?
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Well, no, it doesn't apply to them. But when he inevitably gives up the no-hitter, you have to blame it on the person who mentioned it. That's
So
them's the
I
rule.
have two examples on text that I received. One was from a buddy who goes, and this was in the 7th or something. He's like, "Turn on the Phils," and I'm like, I know what he's saying. I'm like, I'm watching the game. How could I not be watching the game? And then our other buddy just texted Nola, right? Which, that's right on the borderline. We always blame him for mushing stuff anyway. So
Well, I was in a group text and I said he's unhittable right now, which is a way of skirting around.
yeah, you did
saying-
skirt it.
Yeah,
That's effective.
yeah.
So, but Fink, you were one of the people out there ready to burn people at the stake over this last night, right?
It's sports entertainment. It's supposed to be fun. That's part of the superstition. It's fun. It's corny when you they were like, oh, we'll break it. They want to be the people that they put up on there, and if it happens, they'll be like, see, it's not.
Well, what you're talking about, am I
NBC's
wrong?
NBC Sports.
Philadelphia put up perfect game alert in the corner, which is
That's as bad as it gets.
the corniest.
Yeah.
Listen,
You don't say perfect game.
right.
Of the broadcast?
Yeah,
Yes.
on
Like
in
on
the
the
top
Chiron.
in the
Not the
corner on the
Chiron, but-
broadcast, they
As
put
you're watching the
perfect
game,
game
too.
Yeah, I
alert.
must have went to the fridge at that point when they threw that up there.
You must have went to the
Yeah,
fridge.
yeah.
You were tapped in.
I missed that.
Although,
And then guess what happened that inning? They did it.
Yeah.
so I gotta
Blew
say,
the
I gotta
perfect
out
game.
you a little bit because I don't I don't believe that. And you also asked us what time the Phillies game was tonight.
Must have been at the freaking.
Rock was going to tune in again tonight to see what was going to go down.
Yeah, I just got to check it out.
He wants to see him clinch
Make sure
again.
everything's
You never know. They could unclinch during the day.
There's levels to this, though, right? Like I've seen on MLB Network, right? They'll be like, so-and-so for the White Sox has a no-hitter into the, and if you're watching that and you're not a fan, that's because you might tune in to see it even though you otherwise wouldn't.
Listen, in the grand scheme of things, it has nothing to do with the guy's ability to throw a no-hitter.
know
It's
that.
just fun to blame things on random people, like the Cryon guy on NBC Sports Philadelphia. You should be ashamed of yourself.
That's what they should
He
call
should be
it.
fired.
The Cryon.
I want him fired.
What if
called
he's
Chiron?
what
No,
if
it's
it's
called Chiron.
what if he's got like 5 kids at home, like
Fired.
me?
he should have thought about his kids before he put the graphics
It's
on.
called Chiron, right?
What did I call it?
Cryon. I
Cryon?
like that better. Cryon.
Oh, I was thinking of Krylon, the
Cry-
spray paint.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm confused.
Chiron?
What's going on?
That's all right. Just
The fucking screen with where they put the scoreboard and
when
shit.
it goes across,
Yeah.
man.
Okay,
Come on.
all right.
Don't overthink it. You know what the first thing I thought about? This is so stupid. They're at Houston. Houston puts up the congratulations, Philadelphia. We're good with that, right? If they did that in Philly,
No.
That's
absolutely.
very weird.
I would hate that.
Yeah,
People
we
like
would
loved it.
kill the
People
Phillies for
loved
doing
it.
that.
They were all talking about like that's so nice of Houston. Like
Right.
what?
Well, I mean, think about it from Houston's perspective. What could they care, right?
Yeah.
They're long. You know about Houston, right? How good they are.
I know they're in there.
They clinched, long ago. They got no worries. Their fans are they must have thought it was cute that we were there, like worried
And
about
then
the
going
game.
off of that, like the Marlins were winning against who were they playing? The Brewers.
Yeah, the
And like they were like, oh, this one's for Philly
I
and
saw
stuff
you were
like
mad
that.
about that.
If the Phillies were like out of it and they were doing that towards it, I would feel so like.
It's all about the content, man.
Is Houston still cheating? Is that?
Yes.
They're still
yeah,
cheating?
they're a
Probably.
bunch of cheaters.
I can't believe they have the head things. Sometimes they use them, sometimes they don't, right? You know this. You're
The head things.
no, the
Where we
the
at?
ear
The pitchers are wearing a thing
communication.
in their hats this year. For
The hats with the catchers.
Wait,
Oh yeah,
what?
the beep beep, like
Yeah.
Morse
Yeah.
code type shit.
So that's what it does. It just makes a signal.
Yeah, I guess you beep it twice. It's a curveball. I didn't go into the logistics of it, but
Unbelievable.
I assume it's kind of like that.
Well, the other night when
To avoid from stealing signs?
yes,
Yeah.
I like
the other
that.
night Alvarado came in and it wasn't working, so they had to go back to the signs.
I like that, man. I think more technology like that needs to be implemented in sports. Like,
You like
there
that?
needs to be a chip in the ball, so like
Yeah,
you know,
football. I mean, that's
so like
that
you
should
know if they
happen.
cross the first down line, the goal line, whatever
you on
other
that.
like things. Maybe a chip in a tennis ball to see if the ball hit the line.
Yeah.
All that stuff. I think
Isn't
the more
there-
technology that's allowed.
Doesn't tennis have that pretty much? It's like
yeah, they do have that video.
yeah, it's pretty,
oh, that works.
Pretty accurate.
All right. Anyway, sorry.
Thanks, Rob.
So they put up the thing. Yeah, that's all nice. And then I was thinking as they go into the locker room and they just start dousing everything. And I mean, I know they put up the the
Dexter
plastic
room.
wrap, but I'm just sitting there thinking there ain't no way that's not turning into
Right.
an absolute.
If I was a
disaster.
Houston employee in the
Yeah.
clubhouse, I'd be like, God damn, they had
think
to
about it.
clinch here.
They're
Now
pouring.
I got to clean this
there
up.
had to be, and I was thinking in my head, this is the dumb shit that I think about, like whether they had put the plastic wrap on tarps. Somebody, either way, even if you did, then you got a puddle of 2 inches, and like they got to go in and probably rip the floor out and like fix it.
They did say on the broadcast that they had people assigned like following around the whole crew and they were like celebrating, just sweeping up and cleaning up after everybody.
Yeah.
I mean, it probably doesn't help.
Gotta do a lot of
You
damage.
just call up Stanley Steamer at the end
Right.
of the season. Yeah,
They've been celebrating a
But,
bunch. They probably know what to do.
That's
Cheers.
annoying. That's annoying for everybody involved because they're like, oh, it might be tonight, it might be tomorrow night. They got to be ready to go. It's got to be annoying. I would think.
You think they set the room up?
it's not
before
annoying
the
for
game?
me.
Not annoying for me. A lot of
Like,
great content.
You go
People.
into the locker room and you got the Dexter room already set up while you're getting ready to go out there.
Yeah, they have to. I mean, like think about it like this. All right, games going on. Obviously, Phillies were ahead most of the time. It was only a 1-run game, but at a certain point, they got to start setting
Yeah,
it
like
up.
the saddest shit is when you're watching the World Series and you see them rolling the champagne into the locker room in the 7th inning, and then in the 9th inning they're rolling it back out.
Seriously, they
They're
must
like,
have to keep.
"Oops."
They must. Phillies obviously have to pay. to
Maybe
keep
tomorrow.
All that on ice for. They might have to pay for 3 days, and then maybe it never gets used.
I think they can afford it.
It's the logistics of
Yeah.
all this stuff that I think is really interesting. So you're feeling confident, Meech, as our resident Phillies expert. You're feeling good? Well, you're just feeling like let it fly.
Yeah, let's go.
Yeah.
We got a great lineup. We got 2 good pitchers. We got a bullpen that's pitching well. Let's Go win 2 games in St. Louis. And
I can't believe what Schwarber did, man. 47, right?
yeah.
47. I mean, it's like it just happened. I didn't even think about it. Good Lord, that's impressive, man.
Yeah, I don't know.
47 home runs, Rock.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Okay.
But I didn't even.
I don't know what a home run is.
I never even heard of this dude before the season. And I'm like, this dude has
You honestly never heard of Kyle Schwarber before?
had no fucking clue who he was until he started hitting a bunch of home runs this year.
Yeah, he's been like an October legend on 2 different teams already.
I don't follow baseball whatsoever, clearly. So
That's okay.
Get out of here.
We
All right,
can't
I'm
all
just gonna
follow
leave.
baseball. We told him. He was concerned. Rocky was concerned where this episode was going to go. Yeah, he's going over to the Yeti cooler. Just if you want to hang out by the Yeti cooler for a while, we'll tap you back in.
Grabbing a Kenwood.
Well, you know what? I think it's time to tap you back in anyway
And I'm
because
back.
there's lots of good stuff going on. Birds, baby.
Go Birds.
Oh
4-0.
my Lord.
That
you
was a
know?
great win on Sunday.
great win.
That was.
They went down
fantastic.
14-0. I said, they can't lose to this stupid team.
Yeah, and all the people that were like, oh, Eagles, those early tweets about how the Eagles were finally, Eagles are fraudulent and all this. And then we scored 29 points, come right back.
That Jalen Hurts 4th down run was so big. He just overpowered the guy to cross the line. And if they don't score there, they're still down 14-0, and Jaguars got the ball back.
I was so mad when they
Dude,
called.
there's so many teams going for it on 4th and whatever now.
So
Dude.
analytics.
It's the right
crazy.
thing to do.
It's analytics.
Yeah.
Is it the analytics? I was watching. It was the Eagles. I was watching the Eagles game. That last 4th down that they went for was completely unnecessary. Kick the field goal there.
Well,
And the
analytics.
game's over.
Jake Elliott was hurt, and it was bad field conditions. They got
I
to
was
take
down
that.
there,
Mike
and
knows.
I
Mike knows.
had the bird's eye view. I'm like, just kick the field goal. I kicked the fucking field goal and make it from there. Game's over.
Birds sign Rock.
Can we get that set
So,
up? Can we get Rock to
we
kick
just-
some field goals now?
I want to
Is it
see.
Rock
I want to
field
see
goal
you kick
challenge?
a 20-yard field goal in a torrential downpour.
I got that.
Isn't it great the way we,
Let's do this.
once we switched to the Birds, he, pepped up, came right in.
Yeah.
I love it.
I love it.
I think the analytics on that were like that far in the season. I think they were 7 for 11 or something. And they're doing stuff they would never do. Like the first one we went for, real quick, right? It was 4th and 1 at our own 37 or something. They just do the quick sneak. It's real hard to stop a quarterback sneak.
I like
for
that
1 yard.
that sneak, the play they did when they had Goddard roll out and then roll right behind Jalen and just push him through.
Jalen Hurts can overpower anybody
Yeah.
for half a yard.
That's
Honest
a
to
great
God.
play.
Right.
That reminded me like an Andy Reid type. play.
Speaking of
He
Andy Reid,
squats 600 pounds.
Speaking of
in case
Andy
you guys
Reid,
were
wasn't
wondering.
it didn't the Chiefs do the play where the tight end came in, they ran one guy in motion, then the tight end came behind, took the snap, and snuck, he snuck
I'm
it
still
in.
confused how that play went down.
So Andy,
And also, speaking of Andy Reid, did you see his
his ad?
State Farm commercial?
Oh,
that was
God.
odd, man. That's not his
It was odd.
I
personality.
didn't see that at all. I gotta
Like
check
that-
that out. Can you pull that?
I didn't
check
like
it out.
that. It creeped me out. He's a freaking
you couldn't
weirdo.
tell if it was real or not. It didn't seem real. It's like, is this for real?
Like, it's one thing to play a character in a commercial, but it wasn't him. It was stupid.
Do we want it? We want it?
No, I don't want to watch it again. I hated it.
Oh.
I never want to see it again.
You can watch it without the sound, and it
Right.
looks weird. Look
It
at
just
him.
looks weird without his
Yeah.
hat on, dude.
Yeah.
Creep.
Is this like the official fake Andy Reid guy that he got?
No,
in the
that's
commercial?
him.
There's
That's
so many
him.
fake Andy Reids out there.
No, that's him.
You can't really.
Anyway, State Farm will go to any length to get you to buy some insurance. So Sunday was interesting.
Great game.
I went down to the game, and I actually went down to check out the Chris Long's tailgate that he had.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, over in the Navy Yard for the Chris Long Foundation. Shout out to Chris Long and his foundation. Doing great work in the community, water boys, getting clean water to people who need it all across the world, really. And I was interested in checking that out. And I got to say, Chris Long was there, Bo Allen, Brent Selleck.
Was Howie there?
Howie was Howie's not there.
Oh, he's on. Does he still do Fox or whatever the hell he's on?
You're talking about Howie Roseman?
Oh, Howie Long,
Howie
his
Long.
dad.
Oh, I was like, nah, Howie Roseman wasn't there.
No, Howie Mandel.
No, dude. Yeah, Howie Long. Actually, I think he's still on there, but yeah, no, Howie Long wasn't there. But it was cool. That guy's like just a regular dude, and it was cool because he talked about how he played for however many years in St. Louis, and then the team moved. Clearly didn't identify with them. He basically was like, I played in New England, yeah, whatever. He did win a Super Bowl there. He did.
New England?
Yeah, and he just brushed.
He barely even played in that Super Bowl, and then he came here
Okay.
the next year and he
Okay,
played.
so that's probably part of it. But
He won a Super Bowl in St. Louis too, didn't he? Or was that
I don't think so.
before
I don't think
No.
so.
he got there?
But either way, he, basically said Philly was the best place I played by a mile.
No shit.
Loves the people, organization. It was really cool to see, and everybody was super nice. And Les Bowen was there they did a little live podcast thing, which was cool. It actually made me feel good about.
How was their live podcast compared
You know
to
what?
ours?
It was. I didn't know.
Did they have anybody yelling at them while they were doing
They
their
have a
podcast?
bullhorn?
Yeah.
Nah, no bullhorn.
Did they have Federal Donuts?
No, although they had the Steve's truck. I was thinking of it.
Damn it.
They had the Steve's truck, and the whole time I was
They
thinking,
one-upped us.
Steve
get
Steaks,
one?
if you're out there, come to our tailgate with your
Yeah, you
truck,
bring
please.
your truck.
That's all we're missing is the cheesesteak factor.
The whole time I was like, I got to time this. When do I get my steak? It was going until 12 o'clock, and I knew I had to go over to the stadium. Luckily, they had a couple shuttles. It wasn't raining that bad at certain points, and then it started pouring. And to get a steak, you had to go out, and it wasn't, it was coming right at you.
Soggy steak.
Yeah. So I timed it up pretty good.
What kind of steaks you get?
I just got whiz without. That's how I roll.
I found a Steve Steak truck out in the wild last week. It was like stumbling upon gold.
Yeah, you didn't know there was such a thing?
No, I mean, it's parked a lot at their, but I just thought it was for special occasions.
My buddy's sister had it at his wedding.
Yeah, like
For
for
after
that,
the wedding.
for that, I didn't know they just roamed the streets
So-
and parked in random places.
I have an idea.
Where was it parked at?
It was in Cruise Town.
I have an idea. I'm not going to give the whole thing away, but they should have a navigation tool that you can track it, see where it is at any time.
Yeah, I think a lot of trucks have that.
Do they?
Yeah, did you
Or
ever
they'll
watch
announce it
Diners,
on
Drive-Ins,
Twitter
and
or
Dives?
something, or
Nah, I don't watch
Instagram
that.
say, hey, today we're parked up at
Right. They probably don't do that.
Fifth and Broad
Yeah.
or Fifth and Broad.
Yeah, I think a
Broad
lot of those
Market.
trucks, they live off at like Twitter or,
Yeah.
they tweet
I
out their
think.
location.
What about the idea that it never stops moving?
Right.
You have to put your order in, and you got to be there the moment it goes by, and
That
they
sounds
just
like
throw
a
it at you.
terrible
Yeah.
business
And you either get it or you
model
don't.
right
It's
That's
very
great.
viral.
there. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, you should think about it.
Cooking with hot grease while the truck's moving. It sounds great.
How was the steak, though? Was it good off the truck?
Oh, it's fabulous. Fabulous, man. And I had like, 4 or 5 screwdrivers, That was my drink of choice because we were there early. That vodka really creeps up on you, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I saw your eyes weren't looking too good, bud. But it was understandable. It was tailgating.
It was the rain. It was
It
the
was
rain.
early. Well, it was so, I mean,
Yeah,
it
you
was-
sent that picture and you had some sort of Tito's head wrap going on?
yeah, well, they gave out Tito's bandanas, so I was trying on the
Yeah, we got to
bandana.
pull that picture. We'll put
No.
that picture into the thing. Yes, let's put that in.
It's not a great
we'll
picture.
edit that in.
It's not a great picture.
Aleko, I'm going to send you that picture. We got to edit that in.
Don't subvert me, man. You can't go around me. Aleko, who's been your man all this time? Do not. That's not that bad. But yeah, it was cool to see him. And then, the
Does I
game,
text Fink the
I got
picture?
really lucky because it was pouring rain, right? We happen to have the group of tickets that I have is under like the second level. So when you walk in, it's like the top 3 or 4 rows.
Right.
So no matter what the weather's like, I never get hit with anything. You just look out and laugh at everybody. Nah, you don't do that. But yeah, it was a rough game. But most people were gutting it out. And I assume you guys, right? If you were going to this game, you're just thinking, all right, well, I just gotta. It's about having the right equipment.
You put your poncho on.
Yeah.
You
You just know you're gutting it out, right?
put your galoshes.
Yeah, you don't bail. You
Why are you
know?
looking at me?
I'm not
Plastic
looking.
bag over your socks.
I'm just saying.
Get in there.
That's a good move. Is that what you?
Used to do that in the snow.
Yeah.
That's definitely a Northeast thing.
I went.
You
I went
never
to-
tagged you never tagged the plastic. You used to tie a plastic bag around your
Yeah,
socks.
yeah.
before you
We,
bail?
we still do that when we play Sunday football in the mornings when it's like raining and snowing. We still
Yeah.
do that.
Gotta keep the feet wet, dry, not wet.
Big move for football. You get your feet wet, it's trouble. I actually was okay, but I knew I just had to get in there, and so getting in there was the hard part. But once I was in there, it's fine. And then, so I'm in there and just watching the game. Great game. Obviously, started off a little slow, but I noticed something, and it had me thinking back to an instance that was very familiar to me, because a great man once said that in a similar situation where we had a game with weather involved, that we've become a nation of wusses, and that was part of the wussification of
Did
America.
Your dad say that?
Might have been my dad.
I was at that game, and
well-
I was excited to go down that night in the weather against the Vikings, and they canceled it. It was the worst Eagles game I ever went to in my entire
Right.
life.
So you freezing that day.
So you did go to the game, right?
yeah,
You ended up going. This is always.
but I was more excited to go that Sunday when it was supposed to
right,
happen.
and then it happened on a Tuesday.
Yep. Joe
which
Webb.
was just
Oh,
stupid.
the Joe Webb
Joe
game.
Webb game. Anyway, if you recall, my dad was all pissed off
Yeah.
about it, decided to go on the radio and talk about everyone, it's a nation of wusses and how the Chinese would have been marching down Broad Street doing calculus. That's one of my favorite lines. I think that was actually a pretty good line. And then when he showed up to the game, the Eagles had put snow in his seat and said this is for non-wusses only or something. So it became a whole thing. But I was thinking of him the other day because when I went to the game, I was looking out across to the other section, which is behind the visitors' bench, and I noticed that there was a particular area where there were a lot of seats that weren't filled, right? And I shot a little video, so we're going to edit that in for you. And you can see here, if you roll the video, Fink, there's a particular section that
I'm not in this video. Right?
there are not. Yeah, you're not in that video.
Is that the Club Box Nation of Wusses?
That is the Club Box Nation of Wusses, right there in the middle. Now, if you play it again real quick, Fink, you'll notice that in the bottom, all right, the first level packed to the gills, and you'll notice that the top level, which is harsh as can be up there, also packed. But in that middle level, for some reason, there are a ton of empty seats. And I don't think it's very hard to tell why.
Look at that section.
Because that is the heart of the Nation of Wusses. In the club box level, okay? Let's just be honest. I mean, I've been there before. Rocky, been there. You guys have been. You snuck in, right, and got kicked out? Is that what you're saying?
I don't know what you're talking about.
You don't know what I'm talking about?
They're in line getting a triple vodka club.
Right, yeah. So in the club box, unlike, if you walk out of the first level, the lower level, it's all, concrete and, you got to fight for your way into the bathroom and all that. The club box, you walk in, it's carpet, it's like they
TVs
got
everywhere.
carving stations.
Oh, it's nice.
Admittedly, it's nice. It's temperature controlled, right? It's a sealed environment. And I think you have a combination of two factors going on here from this cross-section of the Wuss Nation. And that is, a lot of them probably didn't go to the game, let's be real, right? Last second, bailout move, didn't go. Or if they went, they were spending a lot of time in the carpeted, temperature-controlled zone instead of being out here, especially.
All right, so I'll comment on this.
Please do.
Because I had club-level seats on Sunday.
To this game.
To this game, correct. So obviously I was there. Not obviously, but I was there when you were shooting this video. You were disappointed about.
Where were you exactly?
What do you mean? I was right next to you when you took this video.
Oh, that's right. Wait, so he came down, right?
Came down to down.
We
there
texted him because there was the guy who I actually go to the game with. He bailed. I'm not gonna put him out there.
That dude is,
but he bailed.
All right, I don't even know who that was. But
Was it
that's who
Squirrel?
No, it was not Squirrel. Squirrel was there.
Rocket Squirrel?
Squirrel was. These are the conditions that Squirrel
Rocket
lives
J
for.
Squirrel.
Anyway, so this other guy bailed, so I hit Rock up. Like, yo, come down, get out of that. I can see that where you're sitting is a horrible experience.
So
Come down.
anyway, so I had club level seats, right? I go to the game by myself. Not by myself.
With other people.
With other people, but I went down by myself. I got there before everyone else. And I'm up there, and I'm like, damn, it's nice up here. It's warm. I just came from the cold driving.
The inside.
On the inside,
Yeah.
yes, not out there in the field, right? So, you got, like you said, the carving stations. You got all types of options.
Yeah.
You got Vince Papale and who was the other guy? Sean Landetta there signing autographs if you want one. It's nice up there. It's nice and warm. You got plenty of TVs to look at. So I get there. I step right out to go see, like, how the rain's coming down. I'm like, it's a little wet out here.
Well, it was like, I think it was going like.
Yeah, it was coming down pretty hard. So I'm like, you know what? I'm going to step back inside for a second, right? And watch this first drive.
See, and that's where I have to stop you. It's okay if you step inside maybe during a time, but you stepped inside to watch this first drive?
I was freezing cold, man. I was wet. Listen.
It's part of the deal.
First of all,
you signed up for it.
So when you look up top and you look down low, right, you see there's plenty of people out there watching the game, but then you look at the club level, there's nobody out there. There's a reason, right? So if you go up top and you go down low, there's not many good options outside of your seats to watch the game other than go stand out there where it's still freezing cold, it's wet. You're pretty much
just watch the game at home.
You're in the same environment, so you might as well go sit in your
It's
seat.
a pretty good argument.
You might as well
hold on.
sit in your seat and
Let
get
me ask
soaked
you.
anyway.
I need to ask you a critical question.
You know what would have helped you?
What?
Plastic bag around your socks.
Yeah, you can't wear that. You can't wear
I
that
had
in the club
waterproof
level.
shoes on. I was fine.
You can't wear that in the club level. They'll shame you right out of there. You don't do that. Your loafers.
I wouldn't
No.
know. I'm not allowed in that
There's
club.
plenty
I'm
of
not allowed
No,
in the club
your
level.
loafers that you're wearing, you're barefoot with your loafers and your lobster pants. You know, you got the lobsters on them. That's what you got to wear.
They don't let people in the Northeast in the club level.
Bottom line
no
is,
way.
there's better options to watch the game at the club level. I guarantee
Than
you,
actually watching it with your eyes
if you
in
had
front
the
of you.
same indoor options on the top level and the bottom level as you do as the club level, I guarantee you the stadium would look
No one would
insane.
even watch the game
It would
ever.
look,
Now,
dude,
here's
that
a-
was some rough.
Wait,
This
can I ask
probably
a
isn't
critical
going to be
question?
popular.
Wait, can I ask a critical question? Did you
Depends
this
how critical.
ticket?
might
Did
need to
you
be edited
did you
out.
get this ticket for free or did you pay for this ticket?
No comment. Shout out Ace
See,
and Marissa.
he didn't have any skin in the game, so he's like, oh, I'll just have the carving station.
Thank you, Ace
All right,
and
go ahead.
Marissa.
Go ahead, Meech.
But no comment.
I love watching football on TV. I like it a lot better. I go to the game when I go to a football game. I go for the atmosphere and but I can't pay attention to the game nearly as much as I can when I'm watching on TV.
This is true.
I have a hard time following who has the goddamn football, who they're chasing. I mean, it's not that I have bad vision. I'm just not good at
You're
it.
overstimulated. You're
Yeah,
like,
there's just
whoa,
too
so
much going on.
Yeah.
And when I have the TV camera, I can easily see who's got the ball, where it's going, and so if I'm at the club level and it's a little cold out and I want to watch the game, I might head in for a quarter or two.
Jess,
Honestly,
you're getting bullied here.
it's depressing to hear you
Yeah,
say
I mean,
that.
listen, I wouldn't have done that
I'm with
20
you,
years
Jesse.
ago. I'm getting
You
older,
with me?
man.
Listen, I'm there.
You got to man it up.
This dude's talking from a spot that has an overhang where he's not getting touched by any
Look
element.
at this kid now, look. He's like, wait. It's
Hey,
like-
look, no, but part of it, the reason that and I'm with you, if I sit at home and I watch the game, I see all the replays, I know a lot more about what's happening. I can watch Red Zone, but you know what? I'm going to miss seeing Pillar Guy walk in. I'm going to miss the guy who's going to do the 14 Eagle chants in front of me.
That's
I'm
great.
gonna
That's what I'm
miss
saying.
all that.
I love the
camaraderie.
camaraderie and the everything that goes on at a live football game.
I will always choose feeling the game because when you're there, you can feel the game. When you watch it on TV, I'm sorry, forget that. It's
can
cutting the
feel it in the
commercials.
club level lounge,
No,
too.
you can't. No, you can't.
Feels good.
All
And
you
also-
feel
and
is
also
that
you can
shag
watch
carpet.
front of
Watching
the
that little
like-
lounge till they get to like the 20, then hurry out to your seats.
I
and
saw
you
every touchdown
celebrate
the
with
Eagles scored
the
live.
That's
touchdown.
so lame. That is so lame. Oh, I'm going to come out to watch
Listen,
the touchdown.
I'm getting a little lame in my old age.
I
What
just
can I
can't
say?
believe that you're backing him on this, man.
All I'm saying is if
I
the
understand
same
where he's
options were
coming from.
available up top and below, you would see the same thing.
All right.
Bottom line.
So here's what we've concluded. I am taking a stand against this wuss-like behavior, and I feel very strongly about it.
All right, well then
Rock,
sell your
Rock-
tickets and then start
no, no, no.
sitting really down in the elements where there's no overhang.
Rock participated in said wussification, which is blasphemous, and Meech is supporting it and admitting that in his older age he's become a spineless fan who doesn't care about being with his.
That's harsh.
Spineless
That
fan.
is. I wouldn't go that far. I'm not saying I would have been one of the guys inside. I'm just saying I get it.
I mean, I get it. It's warmer. All right.
I
Anyway.
didn't spend the entire time in the lounge. I was
right.
outside.
He saw all the touchdowns.
inside.
I
I'm
wanna
not going
know-
to walk into the club level lounge and say, "Hey, you guys, you should get out there."
I want to know. And Fink, you said you're.
I would have been out there in
You're
the
with
rain.
me.
I would have been in the rain.
I gotta. You know what? Next time, there's tickets are coming up. This guy. I gotta. This behavior.
I would not. Rock would look
Next
like
time,
kill me
there's,
right now.
next time there's bad elements, I'm gonna have to think about that. Well, I'd like to see what the people think about that, Fink. So maybe we can get something going and have them. I think people are gonna back the idea of
What
not-
you want people to do is admit that they're wussies, which
Correct.
probably a lot of people aren't going to do.
Well, or
I'm just
other
saying I
people
get it.
to point them out for being wussies. You know what I mean? So if you know
So
anybody,
the wuss police.
No,
Yes.
what you do
That's
is
right.
you go out, you watch the game live, you get wet, and you go back in, you drive for a little bit, and you go back out.
I have no problem with a reasonable approach, but
Yeah.
when you're watching the entire first drive and just popping out.
You could have taken that video.
Touchdown! Back to the carving.
You could have taken that video at halftime. That could have been out of context.
It was
You're
right
setting
after
this up.
halftime. You know what? That video was right after halftime.
How?
So maybe they were still in their line at the lounge.
Guys, 9 minutes
Can
in
you
the
go
second
back to the
quarter.
video and see what's
There
up?
was 9 minutes in the second. I checked it because I looked at it too. I was like, wait, maybe he is wrong. There was
Did you
9
see
minutes
how
in the second
full the
quarter.
other sections were? I'm not making this
They
up.
don't have any options. They don't have carving stations in those other sections.
I'm not making this up. Okay, so good. Look, neither here nor there. Whatever.
Good game, though.
Good game. Birds.
3rd and 10, down 14-7 in the second quarter, 9:08.
Thank you.
You should be out there cheering
you.
your damn team on.
Yeah.
You know, Fink, I feel like,
908. Where are you seeing that 908?
It's right there. What are you looking at, dude? Look,
It's the Dolphins' time.
Fink, I'm glad that we came together.
I can't see. I need my. I
Things
need
on
glasses.
Dolphin time.
I'm glad we came together.
Wait,
I
Dolphins play
know
on Thursday.
last week you felt like I was digging into you a little bit. I'm glad we're.
It was a nice shirt. It was a nice shirt.
It was a nice shirt. We're bonding. We're back. I love it. All right, but yeah, birds are rocking and rolling. Very exciting stuff. Bit of a test here coming up on Sunday. I think,
Nah, they stink.
Cardinals have been up and down.
They stink.
You know they're better than they've been at their worst. I think you're going to get a tough game.
Could be a trap game.
Yeah, I don't think it's. People are so hyped up on the Eagles. They're acting like this is just
Going
a
into the bye week, 6-0.
foregone conclusion. Well, look, obviously we're hoping. I mean, either way, the game against Cowboys is going to be a big game, right? If they win, we're just kicking ass and taking names. If they were to lose, then we need the game. We really need the game. Somehow, some way, the Cowboys keep winning. Do we
Anything going on before that game?
Cowboys been playing shitty teams. Too.
Is there anything going on before that game?
But
Fink, what are you doing for the Cowboys game?
I don't know. I got nothing.
You got nothing?
You want to do
Rock,
something?
you got a plan?
I mean, we should maybe tailgate or
You
something.
want to do a tailgate?
Might as well.
You want to do a tailgate? We should call Tom and see if he'll bring his chicken down there from Federal Donuts. Think he'd do that?
I know. Tom's a good guy.
He's a
He'll
good
do it.
guy.
Got any
He's a good
hoagies
guy.
you can bring down?
I'm sure Tom's got extra chicken laying around.
Yeah, he probably goes to sleep. He's got chicken coming out every drawer in his house.
Just goes into his chicken coop.
All right, well,
Backyard.
obviously we're joking here. We have the tailgate. This is the Birds of a Feather, episode 2, part 2, whatever you want to call it. That's going to be taking place in M-Lot, starting at 4 p.m. October 16th. Getting revved up for the Cowboys game.
I'll be on time.
You're going to be there this time?
I'll be on time.
We're going to do another podcast. We're going to have Fink's Hoagies, Federal Donuts, Chicken and Donuts. Kenwood Beer will be back again with the mobile bar unit. I don't even know what they call it, but I love that thing.
Yo, if Steve's is watching. Could you get that steak truck?
I don't know. Hey, we got to talk to Tom. We might have an exclusive deal with the chicken. He might not want to mix the food groups in there, so we're gonna have to talk to him. Maybe he's down for all I know. But you might not be able to get the truck in there. That could be the only hard part. But anyway, look, we had a great time doing it the first time. Bring your friends, bring everybody. Let's have a great time down there. Get all psyched
Bring your
up.
grandmom.
Bring your grandmom. You could do like Meech did when he brought his mom to the Chris Rock show. Bring your mom to the tailgate.
Sure, good time.
Should you bring your mom?
Why are we talking about
if she'd
people's
like to
moms?
come,
Maybe
my
send her.
mom watches these every once
He
in a
said
while.
bring your grandmom. That's
Lay
what
off
we're
the
talking
moms.
about.
When my mom can
Grandma.
figure out how to get on YouTube, she watches these episodes.
All right. Send her the link.
Like every once in a while when I'm over there, she's like, "Show me again how you
right.
get on the YouTube."
Right.
Love you, Mom.
So that's good. We covered the Phils. A lot of excitement there. It will be great to see how they do this weekend. Birds are just kicking ass. Little Sixers action. I don't know if anyone saw that.
I didn't see
Tyrese.
the game. I just
Maxey
saw.
is
The
a-
only thing I
Maxey's
saw
a
from
god.
that game
Saw
was
the
that
brick.
Ben Simmons fade away,
Okay, so
bounce off the backboard.
what I realized in watching that game, because inevitably as we watch Ben Simmons play this year, he's going to do things that are good that make you as frustrated, as obviously when he bricks stuff, you're gonna be like, Ben Simmons.
I said this exact same thing, but what I noticed from last night when I watched it, he didn't improve in any facet of his game. He's the same player. He's always going to be, which is it'll be good enough to get through, and he'll be on all defensive teams, and he'll have a couple passing highlights, and he'll be up at the top of the leaderboard for 3-point shots created. Just a bunch of bullshit.
Well, when I was watching him, steals and slashing and dunking, he does all that stuff, and you look at it and you're like, when we had him in the beginning, you're just hoping this guy could be great, and it's just he's a frustrating player for us, for the teams that he's on, because at the end of the day, he's always going to miss those free throws. He's always going to miss those shots. I wonder this season with the Nets, can he avoid being in those situations, given that they have Durant and Kyrie, are they going to be able to work him, out of the lineup in critical situations, or is that going to be
literally? Like, I'm not trying to be a dick.
don't wanna
I don't
talk
care.
about it.
I don't care how he fits in with the Nets. I don't give a shit about him anymore. I don't. He's not on my radar anymore. He's an okay player.
He's like Aaron Nola will be if he loses the playoff game?
No, Aaron Nola at least tried, I guess. He's just not. Ben Simmons, I can't do it with him anymore.
I hear you. I'm still fascinated by the whole thing and the potential that he has and what he could have been.
I think he is what he is at this point. He's going to be the same
I noticed
player.
it when I watched that J.J. Redick podcast. They were kissing his ass, telling him how great he was at all, like creating 3-point shot. And he's like, "Yeah, I know." Like he confirming how great he was when.
Yeah, he didn't take any responsibility for his actions. It was just like, come on, man.
Which is fine, whatever.
All right. Well, I was just watching last night, and it was, you happened to be playing the
No,
Sixers.
I know.
All right, Maxey. I saw Maxey had a nice little stat line for
a great
the
stat line.
preseason game, but I'm assuming Joel. And
I think they hit like 9 threes in the first
No, they
quarter.
didn't play.
Yeah.
James and Joel just watching, ha ha ha, not even participating. It's great. Nah, but it'll be exciting to have
What was Simmons' stat line from last night? Just curious.
6 points, 2 missed free throws, none made.
all dunks.
5 assists, 4 rebounds.
What a bum.
He had a decent amount of steals too, I think. But look, preseason obviously, right? So what are we even talking about? But having them kick into gear at the same time as the Phillies.
Love hoops, man.
Hopefully the Phillies, maybe they go on a little run, and they'll be around for a couple weeks, and Eagles will still be interesting. So it's a good time to be a sports fan in Philadelphia.
So they had the whole squad out there. They had KD, Kyrie
they
out
all
there
played.
playing.
And they got their ass kicked.
Yeah.
Joe Harris was out there.
What I saw was, who was it? Niang locked them up on that turnaround jump shot brick, and I was like, man, if you can't even,
You don't even have
get
to
it done
lock
against
them up.
Niang.
Ben Simmons minus 10 on the stat.
Woo! I don't
Defensive
like
all.
plus minus in basketball either.
I just
think
like
that's
it when it's bad against Ben
Right,
Simmons.
All right. Well, it's a good time. So I hope all this stuff keeps happening and gives us some fun stuff to talk about, because we certainly have had our share of depressing things happen over the past couple years.
Yeah, we deserve it.
We deserve it, I think, for sure.
Did anyone notice Fink is wearing a Phillies jersey, a
first thing
Sixers
I noticed when I walked
sweatshirt,
in.
and an Eagles hat?
He's all
I do it
Phillied
for my
out.
city. I love these
It's
guys.
dedication.
That is
Where's your Flyers gear?
representation.
Who?
Right.
He said, "Who? Excuse me? You fair weather fan, you."
I hate the Flyers right now.
Okay.
We got beef too.
Yeah, they came at him on Twitter, like legit
Like
came
the
at him.
official account?
The
Yeah,
official
they were like-
fly.
came
This
and
is a
did
couple
it.
years ago,
They
right?
were like, "Oh, you sound like you seem like you're fun or something like that." And
Yeah, they-
ever since then, the
They
Flyers
obviously don't know
They
you.
the
ripped
Flyers sucked.
Fucking
I mean,
haters.
Huh. That's that
could be-
bad, that's
could be
that
a
bad
curse.
energy.
I asked him for an apology. I said I'll drop the curse. This is a fake
It is
curse.
interesting to me, though, that you have a which player's jersey are you wearing, the Phillies there?
Scott Kingery.
Jetpack Scotty.
So I got it at TJ Maxx. It was on sale. It was like $20.
Can't beat
And it was when he was like still like fringe, maybe making the team. It was like right after he signed the deal, and it's sewn on. So I was just like,
Yeah,
$20, TJ Maxx.
got to take it.
Hell yeah.
All right, I'm lost on this.
It's just a guy who they gave a bunch of money to, like he was going to be
Is
the
he still on the
future.
squad?
No,
He's in the minors.
He's making $6 million a year in the minors.
But he's still.
He's on the
Philadelphia.
Philly. Yeah,
he's
but
on the Iron
he's
Pigs
not.
or whatever.
He's not someone you would wear their jersey
Gotcha.
around.
But it's not like wearing like a Zach Ertz jersey or something.
It's like wearing Ben Simmons almost. Not,
No.
At
not-
least
not
Zach
that bad.
Ertz did something with the team.
Yeah, but he's on another team now.
No.
Maybe Wentz.
No. Wentz and Simmons did bad
Yeah,
things
I don't
to
know.
us. They wronged us. Scott Kingery just couldn't.
Yeah, there's no
he lost his
comparison.
swing.
I
It's
bought it from TJ Maxx for $20. So you think that's
You know what it's
Is it
kinda like-
Is it like wearing a Don Brown jersey?
No, it's kind of like Markelle Fultz, right? In that he never did anything wrong to us. He just lost his game when we had such high expectations for him. I think it's a good analogy. What do you think?
it could
Love
work.
it. Let's just say you love it.
I don't like it.
Don't say. I really don't care about Scott Kingery. I don't want to talk about Scott Kingery.
No, we could let's dedicate a fucking show to Scott Kingery.
See,
Let's travel to Scott Kingery's house and
He'll
talk
always
about
have
what he
the
does with his
last-
contract.
he'll always have the last word. I love it. All right, I'm gonna wrap this up with a.
We're done?
Yeah, I think we're done. I mean, you have other things you want to talk about?
I thought we were going to talk about Barry. Maybe in another episode we'll talk about Barry.
Well, we can get into that. But
Nah, I
feel
don't wanna talk
That's
about
going to go for 15,
Yeah, that'll go
20 minutes.
forever.
I have I want to go back to something we used to do a long time ago. Do you guys remember?
Play CeeLo?
No, I'll do that too, though. Do you guys remember? Is it weird to you?
Oh yeah, I remember that.
Is it weird to you?
Wow, that's a classic.
Classic. All the people know. Is it
Yeah.
weird? Fink, this might predate you.
I actually got one. I mean, we didn't talk about anything before this show.
Do you have a good one?
I don't have a
Okay.
good one.
All right, hold on. Okay, so the idea here, Fink, is very simple. I ask a question and ask if it's weird to you, because it's something that is kind of weird to me.
Everything's weird to think.
All right, perfect. This is going to go great then. So think if you have anything. This is something that occurred to me on a few occasions, because I was in a band for many years. I've been to a ton of shows. I started going to shows again. I've gotten back into that.
Braggart.
Yeah, I'm bragging about my band.
Mr. Hollywood over here.
My
Look at
band
him.
that didn't really go anywhere. Yeah, I'm
My
bragging
dad
about that.
heard about your band.
What's the
Your
name of the
dad?
band?
I swear.
Don't look down. I
Yeah.
think we have 1,000 active listeners on Spotify, but it doesn't matter.
Nice.
So I was at a show the other night, which is hysterical. This band that I used to listen to when I was 14 years old that hasn't played for 20 years. If anyone knows Sunny Day Real Estate, they started emo.
I
I've seen them on Twitter.
Yeah, I've
but
seen a
I
couple
don't know
people I know who went to that.
They like never, this band that like broke up 40 times and was always really annoying because you wanted to hear them, but they never did anything. They came, and so you're wondering, like, are they going to suck? Are they not going to, when you see a band playing, they don't
Right.
even care. They were great. They clearly had leaned into it, doing their first tour in a really long time. But, so, we get to the end, and here's what I'm asking you guys. Is it weird to you that I think we should just, like, do away with encores?
Yeah, it's pretty stupid. You know they're coming. They're obvious. It's nobody is like, if you don't play your best song and then you turn off the lights. Like, dude, we know you're coming back out.
I'm glad you're with me on this. I thought I might get crushed for this opinion, but
See, I don't go see many bands that have encores. You know,
It's not a big thing in like a
They don't
rap
do that
show.
in
yeah,
rap,
it's
do
not
they?
raps. It's not like
they're like, you get what you get. We're
yeah.
out of here. Peace. Well,
but I agree. I always thought that was corny. Like,
So-
the crowd has to yell, and then they have to pretend that you're not coming back out, and then the lights come on, and then they go back down, and then
yeah.
knock it
So
off.
there was a moment, these guys finished.
We're not doing
Knock it off.
We're doing it.
Oh, yeah, I like it. Hey, bring it back. There was a moment, they stop playing. They leave the stage, lights are down. But, like, people have done this so many times that, like, half the people were trying to do the, like, cheer them back out thing, and the other half are kind of like, all right, yeah, like, come on. Like, we
Right.
know you're coming. In no world are you not coming back.
Yeah.
Right? So it just was lame. And I just was thinking,
It's just a formality. I guess it's just something.
But let me ask you a question. What if the band said, okay, guys, this show's been awesome. You guys are the best. We're super, grateful for you coming. We're not going to go leave the stage, right? We're going to play 2 more songs. We know they're bangers and that you're going to love it. So
I'm sure some bands
give
have
me
done
all your
that.
energy right now because this is going to be the last 2 songs. Like, I'd almost, maybe that's not as dramatic, but it's coming, So that was that struck me as just being like, all right, like, what the hell are we doing here? That was weird to me.
So the encore is a weird thing. Yeah, in general.
It's just, I was wondering if it was weird that I thought the encore
Is weird.
It's not
seems
weird.
like
it's
it just
pointless.
seems like old and traditional.
Right.
It's a formality. Yeah, so just get rid of it.
Well,
What's your suggestion?
Wait,
Just
what
to
would have been
save
so
everybody
awesome?
from-
Imagine if you were the first band that, like, you finished and then you, like, were in the back and people were like, so, like, they want us to come back, man. We should go back and play more songs. The
Or
first
they're
encore.
sitting in the back room and they're like, "Oh wait, we forgot to play our most popular song that everyone came to our goddamn concert to hear." Like maybe that. I don't know about that.
All right.
All right. What do you?
I mean, I didn't prepare for this, but just seeing as it's like a change of the weather and it's a seasonal thing, got a couple of Northeast guys with us. The weird thing to me is guys wearing shorts in the inclement weather. I don't understand. Like, it's obviously cold outside. There's other options for your legs other than shorts, but I feel like there's certain people who just refuse to put pants on.
It's definitely a white guy thing.
I mean, I didn't want to go there.
Wait a minute.
I wasn't going to go there.
Speaking of that, we haven't used our most our favorite acronym for
It's
a long
definitely
time.
WAF as fuck.
That is WAV
But,
all day long.
It's weird to me that now that you said it, that a lot of I'm not saying not a lot, but there's certain Caucasian folks who will just wear shorts.
He said
all
Caucasian
throughout
folks.
the winter time. Like, there's nothing wrong with it. Like, they don't
Like-
feel the cold.
Like guys in Northeast that are wearing like their Adidas mesh shorts.
I mean, I got to be honest. If I'm going to the store or something real quick, I got my my basketball.
If
mesh
I'm within
shorts
10
on.
minutes of the house,
I got a
I'm wearing
hoodie.
shorts out, no
Nah,
matter
but
the weather.
I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about people who are clearly like out doing something for a while. Like, one of my good buddies in high school, you remember this guy from the football team? He would never
Juan?
wear. Yeah, Juan. This dude wore shorts all year long. It's snowing. Like, he just wore shorts, and he's like
Happened to be from the Northeast.
He happened to be from the Northeast. He's very prideful about it. So I just don't understand. I don't know if you guys know anybody like this.
Well,
but
I
met
actually
so
had
many people.
the reverse. I had a friend. He's white. Is stinky, and he never wore shorts in his life. I've never seen a dude in shorts. He used to wear jeans all through
so he's on
summer.
the opposite spectrum.
He's like
See, I'm the
the
opposite.
inverse. Of
I always wear jeans.
You got into a bit of a war online, and somebody yelled at you at the tailgate for wearing shorts, right? Isn't
Yeah,
this-
because I said that after 7 p.m. because like around if you're going out or whatever, like put on some pants.
yeah, put some pants.
Yeah, see, he's from the Northeast. He respects a good mesh short, but he
Fink
knows when
showed
to
up to
call
the
it.
podcast last week. It was about 45 degrees. He's got a T-shirt and shorts on. So, you know,
In my defense, it was like 70 degrees that day, but I didn't like get ready for fall weather where I
Yeah, he
looked to
doesn't
see it was gonna
understand
be
the sun
42
goes
degrees
down.
at night.
So if anybody's watching or listening, can you just
Can you
throw
give us some
shit
dressing
down
advice?
in the comments, letting us know what's going on with the shorts in the winter? I just got to know about it.
it's just easy, I think.
There
It's
are
easy, or is it
so
like you don't feel the cold? What is it?
I think
Yeah, my legs don't get cold.
My legs don't get cold really either.
That's what I.
there's a phenomenon here.
That's bullshit.
There's something that goes on
Your
here.
nuts get cold. I bet you under them fucking shorts.
See, I hands,
Sorry.
The change of seasons can be very abrupt, and it can catch people off guard, right?
I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about the people in the.
I know
dead of
they're
winter.
doing it deliberately,
Yeah.
but we also have a lot of people here who are like the seasonal oversteppers. You know, where like here's a perfect example. It's like March and it's like the first 50-degree day, and I'm driving down Kelly Drive, and somebody's like running with their shirt off or something. You know, you have these people who you see this a lot on the golf course, by the way.
Guys playing with. their
Yeah,
shirt off.
like the other.
Never seen that.
Have you been to Walnut Lane before?
No, I've never seen anybody playing
Bro,
with their shirt off.
They definitely play with their shirts off
Whoa.
at Walnut Lane. I
Wow.
bet you. I see
right.
it all the time. All the time. But no, on the golf course, I was actually out the other day, and it wasn't a nice day at all. It was probably, high 50s, and there's still the guys that are not putting the shorts away, right? And then when you come around the other side, and it starts to get a little warmer, people jump right into the shorts. Just saying. So anyway, it's tough around here. I mean, the weather's changing, but I get your point. So you guys, they're dug in
Here's
on
my
this.
overall opinion on it. Do whatever the fuck you want. I don't care. I don't care if you want to wear shorts. If you want to be cold all the time, what the hell's it bother me for?
I just want to know what,
always
what the
grounds
mentality
us.
It's
is.
the
Like,
it's
is it or
the
like,
what you eat don't make me shit
yeah,
theory.
is it like a thing though? I mean, I'm not saying do whatever you want. You know, whatever you like. I'm fine with it, but I'm just curious about like why are people walking around when it's like
'Cause
20
they're
degrees
wackos.
with shorts on?
Because they're waff, and that's all there is to it.
Because they're
All right.
insane. They're crazy
If you're
people.
watching this and you're one of these people, put it in the comments. Why are you doing this? Are
Yeah.
your legs?
Explain yourself.
I'm crazy. Send.
Explain yourself. Meech just.
Post-
And I don't want to hear my legs don't get cold
Post
because that's
comment.
bullshit.
Well,
Anyway, sorry.
we really spanned the globe on these topics. We were all over the place. But thanks everybody for checking out the 20th episode of the City Pigeons Podcast.
Go back and watch the last 19 if you're not doing anything.
Yeah, seriously. Or
After
watch
you're
it,
done watching this one.
Watch a couple minutes or something.
It's gonna be
Jeez.
Random bird shit part 2.
I don't know. That's a good question. That's a good question. But thanks everybody for tuning in. Just let me, before we go, mention our good friends over at the Goodhart Law Firm. Mark Goodhart
Said.
Shout out
Philadelphia's
With the
greatest
Goodhart.
personal injury attorney and
We're
all
stoked,
around,
good heart.
all around great guy. If you happen to have a personal injury matter of any kind, you should check out thegoodheartfirm.com. Mark and his team will take great care of you. He is a wonderful gentleman. And by the way, huge supporter of tailgate activities. And I know he and his team are going to be cooking up some great things for the 16th against the Dallas Cowboys.
Going to be good.
It's going to be great.
I got
So,
a question. Did we find out who won those raffles?
yeah, you know what? We did. Remember, we drew them last
Yeah, I know
week.
that, but-
I tried to get in touch with them on YouTube. If you happen to be watching this, Cameron Klein.
Thanks, Plant.
Or rookie move. Or Kyle. Are you in
Random
touch with
bird
Kyle?
shit.
Yeah, I'll get in touch.
All right. Cameron, if you're watching, I tried to talk to you
Cam
on
Klein,
on
right?
YouTube. So we might have to pick another winner, but we'll get in touch with you.
Cam Klein.
All right, everybody. Thanks for checking us out.
Later.
Catch you next time.
Later.
All right, now you can play your music.
Is the red button?
Wait, do we stop it?